Will you please bring the energy up in the room and welcome Mr. Ben Bressington.
G'day, or crikey, hey. So, as you can tell, I am Australian, but before Ron leaves, I just wanted to ask him a quick question. I have been working with Ron over the last few months with his business. I just wanted you to quickly share with people how your whole business perspective has changed. Like, it's what, not even 3 months now?
Not even 3 months. Here's the thing for me is I'm one of those people at this point in my life, I teach people about taking action. When you know something is right, it makes complete sense, you do whatever it takes to get it done. I called Ben up and I had his materials and I said, Ben, I want to meet with you. And so he said, well, when do you want to get together? So why don't you come on down to my house, we'll have lunch, we'll spend some time together. He came down and he started explaining more about, and he has this deck of cards, which I love the deck of cards, and he starts showing me all about how gamifying can really help things. And I said, Ben, stop right there. He goes, well, you can learn how to do this yourself. I said, no, Ben, I don't want to learn how to do this kind of stuff myself. You need to teach me how to do it. Can I hire you? And he said, for the right price, anything's available. Anyhow, I've hired Ben, I've engaged with his services so far, and we are retooling and re-implementing my entire business with this. I can tell you, I don't think about anything in business anymore without thinking about game mechanics and game theory and putting it in there and knowing how. I mean, I met with Ben. I said, Ben, what, we need to go through. He goes, whenever you're ready, we're going to start putting all this stuff into speaking events, selling, in my online membership products. Every aspect of my business, I want gamified. And this is the guy I hired to do it.
Cool. So that kind of says it. So the thing is I wanted to set the stage for you guys this is online and offline. It happens on every platform of your business. And it's actually more applicable as an overall business strategy that really helps you advance your overall business. The product I have is called Game or Die. And it's all about how to increase your sales 300%, if my clicker works. There we go. So it's all about being able to increase your sales 300% or more. Who here would actually like to increase their sales? I can also make things a little bit more different, because if I increase the happiness in your workplace, just make you smile a little longer every single day, your productivity increases by 18%. You might be looking at this funny looking Australian and go, well, 18% doesn't sound much. But 18% productivity increase every day. When you think about the course of a year, how many more zeros, how many more deals would you be closing when you look at the whole picture of the year? What about if your staff, your salespeople, closed 18% more deals? That's what's possible with gamification. Let alone your business becomes fun, exciting, you know how to build a community, you empower a community, and you get them connected to a bigger purpose. You've heard a lot over the last few days about a bigger purpose, building a following, building a tribe, right? Yes? But you're probably sitting there going, but how the hell do I do that? You leverage game mechanics, and this is what we do. We leverage game mechanics to make this possible. But is it okay if I actually tell you the real, raw truth of what the hell is happening in this space? Australians kind of talk a little bit direct. We don't pussyfoot around, as they call it. We get straight to the point, and we give you the meat and potatoes. So I'm going to give you guys what we call an epic choice. I can either give you meat and potatoes of the content, or I'll give you kind of a little bit more marketing fluff like the milk and cookies would give Santa. You choose. What do you want? Meat and potatoes where you can leave this room right now and go implement these strategies and make some more money, impact your team and actually get where you want to get to this year, or just a little bit more of the bigger concept and the understanding. What do you want? Everyone's all about the money. Let's get to the money, all right? So I'll tell you the truth and how it works. So one of the biggest problems in this space is that when we have an online business or an offline business, we restart our business every 3, 6, 12 months. How many people here have rebuilt their website their online business more than twice in the last 12 months. What the hell for? Seriously, because every time you do that, let me step back and tell you another story. If I was building a house and we've gone to the architect and we've got the plans all drawn up and then we start putting the frame up of the house, right? You got the frames going up, you've spent like 3-6 months to this point right now, and you walk in, tear it all down, don't like it, let's start again. You've lost all that momentum you've just had in the last 6 months. Does that make sense? Every time you rebuild your online business, you are losing momentum. It's costing you deals. It's costing you money. It's costing you time. And you wonder why you're not the one closing that $100,000 a week deal or making big money. It's all about momentum. And what you want to build in your business, you want to look at your whole business and build a solid foundation that you never have to restart ever again. You want to be able to stack on it and keep stacking and going up and up and up like a skyscraper. Does that make sense? So when you run out of this event this week and next week, you're like, oh my God, there were so many amazing ideas. Don't you dare restart and reboot your entire system. Work out, how do I layer this into what I'm doing now so we can go up and become successful? Because that is what will actually build momentum for you. What you want in your business is actually momentum. Because when we design games, you can actually get 100 million users in 41 days. How many users did you get last month? Right? So the thing is the game world can actually teach us a lot because we focus intently on our foundation. We get our foundation right, and then we stack. Have 1 million people engage with an app on a weekend. Would you like that type of engagement? Yes? Yes. So the thing is these people will keep coming back over and over and over again. And this is what I want to share with you guys. Is that all right? How to actually build momentum in your business. Do you want that? Yeah. Good. So here's what you need to write down. Games taught me to build a foundation. So build the foundation that we can just keep building. Get the framework right so we never have to worry about it again. Get the automation right. Get the direct mail. Get all that communication right. So we don't have to rebuild the members area, rebuild anything ever again. Focus on engagement. How are you engaging with people? How are you connecting with them? Have you thought about the emotional experience you can design for your customers to experience? At what point do you piss them off and provide them with the solution? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about how do you make them smile when they open your product box? Or when you send them the big box, do they go, holy crap, this is a lot of stuff to get through? Right? If you're sending that, send a cookie with it. So at least they can have the cookie and they'll feel good. All right? It's simple things. But we look at that and go, that sounds simple and it sounds logical, but why aren't you doing it in your business? Does that make sense? Then we look at retention. How are you retaining people? How are you keeping them engaged? Because everyone wants to get more traffic, more traffic, more traffic. But what you really have is you don't have a traffic problem. You have an engagement and retention problem. Because when you actually have engaging and exciting customers in your list, they're giving you more money, and they're going, how can I give you another $10,000? How can I give you another $50,000? You're like, I sell a $97 program. Well, let me bitch slap you one more time, and we'll create a $10,000 program. Because you need to work out how you're engaging with people. How are you getting them excited and giving them a bigger purpose to be a part of? And I'm going to talk about this very soon. Because if you just think your product is about a free offer or a $30 product or a $97 product, that's not it. What's the bigger purpose you're enrolling people in? I help people create a fun, engaging, empowering business that generates more revenue than they can poke a stick at. Are you interested in that? Yes. I haven't even told you how much it's going to cost. You're like, I don't care. I want that victory. Because I help people win at business. Are you actually winning right now in your business, or are you losing? When we actually face the hard truth, we might be having a lot more losses than actual wins. So actually getting clear on how you're actually going to win at your business is of critical importance. And we all get lost in getting a JV offer out, or getting an affiliate email done, or getting the sales page, but not really working. How are we designing the win for us in our business? And how are we designing the win for the customer? So we can keep asking them for money, and they got no problem because we're delivering value every step of the way. And we've connected it to a bigger purpose. And that comes back to our profit. So you might be saying, okay, that's cool. This all sounds interesting, but what the hell is gamification? It's the use of game mechanics to increase user engagement, loyalty, and monetization. In Australian, your users stay longer, they come back more often, and you generate more revenue. Anybody interested? Good. This is what gamification is. It's all about applying the game elements. How do you do that? Here's the 7 core fundamental game mechanics that you see all over the world. And I'm going to challenge you right now to say, how can you apply them to your business? How could you have badges? How could you create levels? So you might have a $97 product. Who has a $97 product? Only 3 people. Cool. I don't know what everybody else has. Free. What's level 1 of that product? What's level 2? What's level 3 within that product to promote a user advancing? And then you bundle everything to levels, because you need to show your customers that you have level 3, level 5, and you don't have the full thing yet. Because when I park a Mercedes or a Porsche right here, and then I park like a Hyundai or a Honda, what do you want? You want the fancier car. But I'm like, well, you're going to have to sit in this one for 6 months until you're really ready for the big car. You're like, you bastard. All right? You can do the same thing to your customers. And this whole thing of actually saying that you need to come in at the $7 level and the $97 level is a joke. I bring customers in at a $100,000 level, because I start there and work down. And we start taking away the bells and whistles. And they're like, don't take that away. Don't take that away. So I bring them all the way down to a level 1. I'm like, no, I want the Mercedes. Does that make sense? So you can invert your pyramid when you have the levels and you've got it designed right. It's just product tiers, product offering. What about leaderboards? How are you leveraging leaderboards to have people compete against each other? Tracking people's actual progress. We don't know how we're winning when we're actually consuming your product, because you're not telling me and giving me the data or the feedback to say, this is where you're at today. This is how far you've improved. Who has customers that within the first 60 or 30 days, they kind of want a refund, or they go, this isn't working for me? Anybody? Yes, got a few of those. It's because they can't see the improvement they've had. They can't see that they've actually progressed somewhere. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you're trying to lose those 10 pounds, you're kind of like on the treadmill and you're running around like a rat, right? You're running and you're like, I don't think it's working, right? But it has been working. You just haven't noticed. You've just maybe lost half an inch when you're wanting to see $10,000 show up in the bank account. So you need to communicate that to your customers and show them they are progressing and reward them for progressing. And when you can do that, they're never going to leave you. Does that make sense? You get that? Because they're actually being rewarded. You're saying you're progressing. And now what you start doing is putting a fence around them, because they start saying, you're the only person who tells me that I'm progressing and I'm getting somewhere. Can I give you more money? That's the type of relationship you want to build. So the good thing about game design is it's changing the way we work. It's changing the way we communicate. We've seen this in social media, and we're seeing it in even finance and banking. And it's a shift in communication. It's changing the way, and it's becoming the future platform of change. Look at Kickstarter, and it's how it's changed investment in small projects. Look at Square, how it's now, they're processing billions of dollars worth of transactions in a day. They've changed the finance world. They're competing with PayPal. So gameplay can teach us a lot about user engagement and how we can actually accomplish real results. The other part of this is it's actually the future of communication. And what you need to equip with your customers is actually enroll them into a bigger future. How are you connecting your product to an epic win? Right? That's a victory that they go, yeah, I want a part of that. What cause are you associating your products with, your business with? And so when you talk to people, they're like, I want to step into that future with you. I want that. I want to be healthier. I want to be fitter. I want to give back to the community. Are you guys getting this? Is it making sense? So game mechanics and game thinking is going to be the primary platform for enabling the future because of how powerful games are. Because in the game world, we can get 100 million downloads in 40 days. And in the business world, you getting a few thousand or a few 100,000 users in a month is like victory, right? So in the game world, we can actually learn a lot more from how it works. But who's now sitting here going, crap, I don't get any of this. This sounds great, but I'm missing it. We've got a few people in the room. Like, you may not want to raise your hand. I know it's a bit derogatory, but games can help you. I'm here to actually help you win at business, and I'm actually going to give you my formula to make that happen. So we're going to make it easy. I'll tell you my story and why I can actually be up here explaining this to you. As you can tell, I am Australian. That's why I do speak a little funny, right? My beautiful wife is in the back. I recently got married in Paris last year. Thank you. We had an amazing time. My background is that over the last 12 months, I created a goal for myself. A lot of people laughed at me when I stated my goal. It was to design a $100 million company that I can sell within 24 months. And what I did is I started creating and publishing apps. I published over 500 apps in 12 months. I don't know how to program, I don't know how to code, and I didn't know how to do game design. All right? My background was e-commerce. I was doing product launches and building communities of 40,000 plus members in a few months for people behind The Secret. You know The Secret, the Law of Attraction movie, the fluff things, right? I was all in the self-help space. I was designing the communities, e-commerce sites. If we weren't doing $100,000 a week in direct traffic on our sites, we were pissed off. We were playing a bigger game. Back then, I had my marketing company where we were doing 4 product launches a month. I was getting burnt out to the point that I didn't want to check my emails. Like, I would actually, my phone would be ringing 24 hours a day. My lovely wife would always be frustrated with me because she could see my phone ringing and there was always something about something at any hour of the day. And the hair on the back of my neck would stand up when my phone was ringing. I was burning out. But 2 years ago, I started building apps. And I was building them for clients. And we were getting several thousand people download these apps every day. And I was starting to get more excited about it than my clients were because we were selling stuff through these apps. And what I was more excited about is once I published an app, I didn't have to deal with a customer. I didn't have customer retention issues. Customers weren't calling me and complaining about how do I log into this members area or I never got my email. They were just using the apps and they were buying stuff. And I was loving it. Where when I was building websites and building communities and all this type of stuff for my clients, we had people calling us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So I kind of had an epiphany when I was sitting on the balcony and getting really, really frustrated one night. And I fired all my marketing clients. And I said, you guys have got 30 days, all right? And that's it. Get out of my life. I'm building apps. Because there's something here. I don't have to listen to you complain about only earning $100,000 this week. Right? This is what was going on. My wife looked at me and said, you're crazy, but I believe in you, so let's see what happens here. And we did that. I'm a bit of a nerd at heart, so when I got married, I presented my wife with what I call Princess Defender. I call her Princess, and so I created an app where you have to defend the princess or your princess gets kidnapped. I told her that all the money she gets from this app, she gets to spend. So she goes, that's great. Came back to me with a list of 50 improvements. So I'm like, thank you very much. So I started to understand that there's a lot with game design. And I wanted to understand this a lot more. My background is all marketing and e-commerce. I've been lucky enough to build business now in Australia, in Asia, in America, and in Canada, where we've been living for the last 4 years, and I now live in the US. So I wanted to understand it more. So I was always like, how can I get the same stuff happening in the game world, happening on my e-commerce sites? Because if I can do that, I'm a very happy man, right? If I can get the same user experience, if I can get the same downloads, if I can get the same engagement, if I can get people spending money left, right, and center, I don't have to worry about PPC, SEO, anything. And I know the value is in building a community. Do you guys understand that? Does that all make sense? So I studied everything to do with game design. I was going to events all around the world. Our library of books, my wife just keeps going, it's another Amazon box. Like hundreds of books on play, fun, design, failure, all the emotions that go into designing an emotional experience. And I was able to actually work it out. And this is how I was able to rapidly go from 0 to 500 apps in 12 months. And now my company just got acquired by another big public company out of California. So it's been a good 12 months. But it's all part of a bigger goal. I created a platform where I wanted to gamify education. I wanted to gamify reading books and make it easier for kids to be able to learn. Because 1.2 million students drop out of school every year. I wanted them to be able to use their mobile tablets or their mobile phone and learn and be equipped with the skills so they knew how to advance. So my whole quest right now is I wanted to be able to gamify anything. I wanted to be able to walk into a school and within 7 days, gamify the entire curriculum. It's a crazy strategy, a crazy goal. But that's what we're enrolling in. And when I say that to people, they're like, where do I sign up? I worked out a way to actually put tablets into schools for free, selling the sponsorships on the tablet. So you can now have the Subway tablet in the schools. And we make money through the platform and the licensing, and school kids love pimping out their tablets. So selling the cases and selling the ringtones and selling everything else wrapped around it. And it's all part of this bigger vision. So I needed to work out how to gamify anything. People were talking about gamification. And there was always a big theory. And I'm kind of like, that sucks. I want to be able to implement it. So I needed to work out, how do I do it? So after 2 years, I've now been able to do it. Most people aren't aware that 28 million people a day harvest virtual crops. Farmville. You may laugh at it on Facebook, right? You may get pissed off with all the tractor requests or look after my cows, right? But it's making millions of dollars per month. And people are playing, this statistic here says they play on average, 5 million people a week play on average 45 hours a week. That's more than a part-time job, right? They may be in your place of work right now, right?
On my payroll.
Yeah, on your payroll, riding a virtual tractor, right? Or what's even funnier is they're on your damn webinar harvesting some crops. And you're wondering why you're not converting, because you're as boring as hell, right? So how can you actually take the same engagement? 3 billion hours a week is spent gaming. Do you think we could learn something from that? I can guarantee you in my lifetime, right? It'll get close to 3 billion hours a day in my lifetime. So I can guarantee it's going to happen in your time. So you guys interested in this topic yet, or am I boring you? No, it's interesting. So gamification works because it works on a human behavioral element. Like we stimulate the basic fundamentals of human personality, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But it helps you create meaningful experiences. It helps you engage with your customers in a completely new way. And it helps you put a fence around them so you can market to them. And they've got a relationship with you. Social media is all about relationship marketing. But how the hell do you do that? Can anybody tell me? Send 7 tweets a day on average and this and rubbish. It's all about connecting with these 3 things. So write this down. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose. How do you give people a purpose bigger than themselves? People get enrolled in my business because I'm all about gamifying education, making it better for people to learn, make it easier for people to learn. They want to work with me because I'm up to big things. So you might be like, Ben, I'm only selling a $37 ebook on ClickBank. But how can you enroll them into a bigger purpose? Mr. Van Hoos says it's the wealth, the family, the life, like when you see in their closes. How do you wrap that into the bigger purpose you're facilitating for your customers? Does that make sense? Yeah. The next part of it is mastery. How are you actually laying out in a clear, concise way what we call the path to mastery? So when I buy your product, what is every single step I need to take to become a master? Bear in mind, we as marketers know the mastery level always keeps going on because we keep tacking on another $10,000 level, another $100 product, another $10,000 level. So mastery is something we never achieve, but it's all we want to become a master of this topic. Does that make sense? So in your product, how are you actually facilitating and making it clear to people to know this path, this A to Z path of how they become a master? The other part is autonomy. And this is also what they call Motivation 3.0. The motivation self-help industry has changed, and it's now becoming these three elements. How do you facilitate autonomy? So people can toddle off and try something themselves. They can fail safely, and then they can kind of come back, regroup with you and your product and your business, get the rah-rah strength again to run out and do it again. Does that make sense? Are you equipping your students, your customers, your clients, your salespeople to do that? We can even change the effectiveness of meetings by gamifying them. And if you actually apply just these three elements to your meetings and give your staff the power to make decisions, 75% of staff actually fear they're going to lose their job. So they don't actually want to make a choice, because in the workplace, they think that everything they do is going to cause them to lose their job. You go, that's not my staff, but actually walk around or have someone walk around and go, well, do your staff actually know how they're going to win in their sales role? Do they actually know what they would have to do to be fired? 71% of them don't know how, or don't know that. So one thing you should do with your team next week is go back to them and sit down with them and work out how you're going to win in their role and what the bigger purpose of the company is, and enroll them in that. Because you'll see that once they actually know how to win, they'll be like, oh, I was doing all this stuff over here and it was not even related to the business. It's just what I thought I had to do. You guys get that? So these are the three elements you really need to get clear on. What gamification is not is turning everything you do into a virtual game. I'm not saying you've got to go turn your business into World of Warcraft. Even though World of Warcraft makes $5 million a month and has people spending on average 15 hours a week playing this game. You might go, that's great. I don't want to interact with pimply-faced kids. The average age of a gamer is 35, with 47% of gamers being female. So let me pose you another question. Would you like to connect with the financial purse string holders and influencers of households around the world with an average age of 35 or older? Yes? Well, leveraging game mechanics makes that possible. I wanted to say something else on that. Who here gets pissed off when you work so hard, you pay a copywriter thousands of dollars to write your sales copy, and your competition kind of just steals it and starts using it? The joy of gamification is it's like an onion, so many layers. You can start giving away Ferraris to your customers, and your competition are going, how the hell are they doing that? Because they don't see the back-end mechanics that make this all connect. So your marketing strategies actually become more powerful. And your competition are going to go, oh, that guy's going to go out of business. But what you're actually now doing is understanding your business, your marketplace even better. I'm going to take questions at the end. Okay. So as I mentioned before, 71% of American workers are not engaged or actively disengaged in the workplace. It's because they're not enrolled in a bigger purpose, and they actually don't know how to win. Does that make sense? So your workers right now are bored to tears and are farming on tractors. In the game world, Harry Potter, when it was released, in 16 days did $381 million, right? This is a movie. But when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, it grossed $1.4 billion in 16 days. And people still try to tell me I can't learn anything from games. Well, they can outmarket Harry Potter. I would want to learn from something like that. We heard Dave and Dustin speak about how they take the best ideas from other industries. Start looking at game design, game mechanics, and you're going to have an unfair competitive advantage. Does anybody want an unfair competitive advantage? Good. You guys are kind of like, this guy is speaking some funny language and I'm kind of not getting him. We're like, oh. It's like, I've got to get excited. So people always ask me, okay, Ben, this gamification, game or die sounds exciting, but what the hell do you do? We actually equip you with the tools to gamify anything. Your business, your HR, your weight loss, whatever you want. We help you actually improve your business. I teach you about the 4 personalities we use in the game design and how to craft your sales letters to match those 4 personalities. Most people don't realize that we sell to 1 in 4 people because of the personality type we have. We sell to our personality. So 75% of the people you talk to, you're not connecting to. You tweak a few words in your emails. You now start communicating and engaging everybody. You got a few hundred people on an email list? So if you've got 400 people on your email list, you're only engaging when you write your emails to 100 of them. Would you like to actually start communicating to them all? Yes? We run workshops all around the country, and we're actually working on actually having Game or Die as a certified standard in America and actually around the world for the implementation of gamification. I'm all about how do we implement this stuff and get it done? How do we get results? Don't give me the fluff. Give me the meat and potatoes so I can go into my business and make some more profit. Right? So I've actually equipped it so you can gamify any business. And we've got the tools. This is why we run workshops, 2-day-long workshops, where we actually equip you with those tools. I've also got level 1. Funny enough, I've got a gamified program. Right? My content is gamified. In level 1, Game or Die, the online university. So I will actually teach you the foundation of what gamification is, how to apply it to your business. There's over 20 hours of content in level 1. Then we actually have the personal strategy consulting days and things like this, and we can implement it for you. And some of you might go, audit my foundation, look at my business foundation, right? Look at my website, look at my whole business, and we redesign a whole strategy. We rebuild everything. So it's automated. You don't have to worry about it. Because why on earth are you screwing around with your website if you don't know HTML? If you don't know websites and marketing? Seriously, you're screwing up your own business by you doing it. It's called outsource this shit, right? Well, you guys asked, you actually asked for the raw, real truth, right? Yes. So I'm giving it to you. You might go, this bastard, right? But at the end of the day, if you actually want to get somewhere, pay people with the skills to make it happen. You'll get there so much faster and you'll make more money. Because we can increase your social media sharing 25 times what it is now. I'm working with a big show in Vegas, and we're getting multiple contracts for shows in Vegas. And I sat down with one of the clients just like 2 days ago. The social media exposure we're going to be giving them on a monthly basis is going to be close to 45 million social media impressions a month. Would you like that type of exposure in your business? That's what you can make possible with the right people. A 16 times increase in content consumption. This means your page views go through the roof. We say it's as sticky as a fat boy on cake, right? Because they're consuming your stuff. You can reward people for scrolling down the page, leaving a comment, watching the video, finishing the video, and so much more. We can increase your conversions by at least 15% or more. Would that make a difference? Anybody interested in that? Yes? What about having people come back to your content 11 times more often than they do now? Interested? By the age of 21, people born after 1980 have spent 10,000 hours gaming. They are what we call gaming virtuosos. They speak this form of engagement. They speak this form of stimulation. Their parents speak this form of stimulation and engagement as a byproduct. People are programmed now from birth, because when you say you become a speaker, who here wants to become a speaker? You all know the joke that you have to be an edutainer, right? You got to be up here and tap dance and crap like this and make them laugh, make them love you, right? So, but you're like, I just want to be a speaker. No, you got to be an edutainer. You got to educate and entertain, because you might have content, but you might be as boring as hell. No one's booking you when you're as boring as hell. So I wanted to share with you this example of how this company has gamified their business. And when you gamify their business, you can actually change behavior, and you can actually change how people respond and engage with your product. Notice the first person who's actually interacting with the machine. Is it a pimply-faced kid? It's a lovely young person, isn't it? And now the rush begins. Would you hit the button 200 times? Bear in mind, they're winning a packet of chips. This is a packet of chips you can buy for $2, $1.20 at the local store. See what happens when you make it a game. You change behavior. Who here would hit it 1,000 times? Look at the hundreds of people walking by and that are being engaged and taking photos of this, but look at the emotion now for a packet of chips. You might say, well, if it was a beer, I'd do it. Exactly. But look at the win, look at the emotion. But the question is would they go further? And can you make people go further? What barriers can you put in the way for people to actually consume your product? So who here in the crowded mall would be bowing to the chip god? Bear in mind that these videos now get millions of views online. And from this campaign, they keep feeding their business. They were getting more of an ROI with this engagement and brand awareness, what this company was looking for, that all of their campaigns are now gamified. Because the experience. Because now these people run home and go, honey, you'll never guess what I did today. I won a packet of chips. My wife would go, why didn't you buy the damn packet of chips? Seriously. So yeah, they're fully engaged. Are your customers fully engaged?
Not like that.
And how are you, and the question then becomes of how are you actually designing that form of engagement? So I want to share with you another video of what another company is doing. And this is, I call it Adidas or Adidas. It's Adidas. I say the Australian version. People look at me and go, what's that again? So they get this. And I want you guys to see this example so you guys can start to understand, are you getting this? Because look at how you can start changing the way you market and communicate. There's now engagement technology. There's mobile devices. How are you leveraging mobile? How are you leveraging other sensors to have people compete, interact with each other, to track, do the feedback? How are you providing your customers feedback or tracking solutions with your systems? You might be like, I teach people how to sell real estate, but you can still provide them feedback and tracking on they've made this many calls, they've done this, have they done that action today? So Adidas, or whatever you want to call it, right, is now tracking their movement. But it's bigger than that. They've created a soccer game on the app. And if you want your player to be fitter, you've got to get off your ass and run. You want your players to be actually be a faster team, you've got to run, you've got to exercise, you've got to challenge yourself. And your friends can now challenge you and your players online through Facebook. Are you guys getting some ideas from this? Are you guys going, oh crap? Yeah? So they're leveraging what they call it in the TV world is what they call transmedia. It's not just online. It's offline. It's mobile. It's direct mail. It's the DVD I get in the mail. It's the cookie, as Dan Kennedy used to sell, a send-off with his direct mail piece. It's that form of engagement and the next layer of stimulation. You can actually leverage all this technology in your own business. It doesn't cost a lot of money. You can white label it. The options are endless. But the power of this is massive. So I got to move through this quickly. I created what I call the gamer formula. And it's all about how to gamify your business. So write this down. Or there is some handouts we did have, the Game or Die handouts that seem to be sitting at the back of the table. So if you've been taking notes, well done. But there is a handout at the back of the table. So I'll make sure they get handed out right now. But it's all about, effectively, gamer. How do you create the goals? What is your business objective or problem you're trying to solve? But remember, at every layer of your product, there's a goal. There's an objective. When people come to your website, how do you enroll them into a bigger cause than they're a part of now? Chamillionaire, a rapper, wanted to create people to, when they came to his website, he wanted people to enlist in what he called the Chamilitary, to compete for the #1 fan. So you weren't joining his email list, you're becoming his #1 fan. He had a 380% email opt-in increase. Who here has had a 380% email opt-in increase? Right? We speak about, oh, we get a 4% increase if we change it to a yellow button. This is bigger than that. As I say, actions. And this whole formula applies to your whole business. We don't look at this in an isolated thing. You're like, Ben, I want to sell more $100,000 programs. Great. Well, that's the objective we design your entire funnel around. Your entire business is built around that. Does that make sense? So, actions. What's the to-do list? Look at your current product and go, what are the to-do lists? What is everything that my customer needs to do? What are the skills that they need to develop and acquire? Because one of the biggest roadblocks you do when you deliver your product to people is they're like, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the skills for this. But if you create a little roadmap for them that says, you only need to turn on the computer at step 10, they go, oh, thank God for that. Right? Does that make sense? If we keep moving, it's monitoring. How are you tracking their progress? How are you providing feedback? Can you measure time, weight, completion, sales, hours? I tell people this video should take you 20 minutes or less. They're like, thank God. Because if I'm sitting with it for 4 hours, they're like, I'm doing something wrong. People love this indication of what they should be doing, the time it should be taking them. So they're like, they all want to watch TV. They all want to go to the movies. They want to go to the bar with friends. That's what you're competing with. So we talk about enjoyment. How can you make your product enjoyable? How can you make me smile? Is it boring when I'm reading your book? When you publish your book, what quizzes, challenges, things can you put in your book to challenge me? But funny enough, that gets me from reading your book to go to your website or download your app or download your QR code, and actually gets them into a marketing funnel so you can sell them some more stuff. Do you want to sell them more stuff? Yeah. So this is critical to your success. Rules is now when you can apply some rules to their business. Everyone loves this card deck. And this is over 50 different game mechanics, which results in millions of marketing strategies. I could take any strategy in any business and make it more fun, enjoyable, and profitable. We divided this card deck actually into 4 areas because you can play a game to gamify your business. That sounds like fun, right? Play a game, make more money. Yes? Yes. Good. These are $47 at the back of the room. Let's go. All right? As I used to say to people, you, me, your credit card, let's go. All right? We're going to make more money. So when we look at this, we look at the motivating factors. What motivates people? What is the fundamental element that's actually going to motivate them to take action? Not just fill in an opt-in form. We look at victory. How are you actually going to create wins for them? And I've got them all listed out for you. A whole series of cards. Social. How do you make this a social experience? Because I'm like, well, damn, if that lady can do it, I can do it. Or shit, she's beaten me. Right? How people hate to lose. Do you like losing? No. But yet you're losing in business. Why? You can win. You're here to be a winner. So you're getting equipped with the tools to win. Game or die, right? It's now time to make it fun and enjoyable, or you're going to go out of business. The next part of this is people are like, but what the hell can I gamify? I've got a website. These are all the things that can be gamified on your website, in your business. You can gamify your HR, your meetings, your sales, your performance. There's plugins for your website. You're like, I don't have a lot of money. I spent everything on my credit card to be here today. Great, there's free plugins for WordPress, you tight ass. Right? So you can do this. It is easier if you're equipped with the tools. I wanted to actually just mention quickly Dr. V. I wanted you to briefly tell people of your experience of what happened when we gamified your medical practice. Oh, hold on, we'll grab the mic. You can't see. You're not meant to see here.
You're not meant to see anything. Okay, thank you.
You're meant to walk into stuff.
Just like, huh? Okay. I first came to Ben actually with an idea that I had for a series of integrated medical practices. And I put together a very large business plan, spent a lot of money on it, hired a series of consultants also. And in the end, we did a strategy session, and we were looking at it beforehand as I first thought it was something that was going to be able to be put into an IPO in about 6 or 7 years, and it was going to be worth probably about $120 million. And sitting down with Ben, even before my strategy session, I realized that I was actually sitting on a $550 million IPO. Then I came to the strategy session. I sat down with Ben. We were going to gamify this whole series of practices. And he looks at me. I sat down the business plan. He says, we're going to gamify the practice. And then he hesitated, and he said, do you want to really do that? And I said, no. I'd spent tens of thousands of dollars on it, 18 months putting it together. And in reality, what I wanted to do was to bring the gamification strategies to the healthcare market and to sell to healthcare professionals, whether it's dentists or chiropractors or others, a system whereby they could actually bring patients in, retain those patients, and get more profits. And so back to the information sales strategy that Dave had taught me in the Power Day. So it's completely remade. I've gone 270 degrees in my approach.
I've already got a microphone.
I'm very...
Thank you.
I tend to be giving.
Exactly. So the thing is this really can reshape and change your business. And one of the things we are doing is we've now branded Dr. V as Dr. Gamification, because he's co-licensed my product and I'm certifying him and all his trainers and his business model to sell to his industry. So we're co-publishing with people, we're setting up a licensing and certification model and all this type of stuff. So in your industry, you can actually be the gamified expert. And I'll let you inside on an insider secret. In my industry, right now in gamifying business, there's a 2,000% increase in the next 12 months alone. I put up a few pages on my website and I'm now getting 7-figure contracts from Vegas casinos. Right? I officially launched this in maybe December last year. Right? So this is a very popular business because there's not many marketing consultants who can actually walk in and go, I can increase your sales 300%, leveraging personality, leveraging marketing, leveraging engagement. I can create your stuff so sticky, people don't want to go anywhere. Does that make sense? So this becomes a very big opportunity. You guys can get access to that, but we're only looking to a few people. And by the way, I'm not here to actually sell you anything. I'm actually here just to entertain you guys, right? Edutain you guys. I want to equip you guys so you can win at business. And at the end of the day, I only look for one client at a time. So I'm not here even looking for clients. So don't worry, I'm not asking for a credit card at the end of this presentation. Cool? So, but you can throw cash at me and I will be happy, all right? And if you want to buy me beers at the bar, I might reveal some secrets, right? I'm Australian, we run on alcohol, right? So who here does, not Playboy, I mean Facebook? I do Playboy, you do guys do Facebook, all right? We'll admit to that. So we all do Facebook marketing, right? Well, Playboy said, we want to test this stuff out. I didn't do this campaign, but this is the results they had. They had 80,000 people register in 30 days. These weren't purchase fans that you bought off Fiverr for $5. Real people coming back somewhere between 5 and 11 times a day. So they had an 85% re-engagement rate, and as a byproduct, their monthly revenue went up 60%. Who would like that as a byproduct? But it gets better than that. The restaurant Buffalo Wild Wings actually did a gamified marketing campaign over 9 weeks. Who actually saw that? It turned their restaurant into like a full game arena. People were going there. Buffalo Wild Wings is kind of competes with Hooters in my book, right? We all know what Hooters is. We sell wings, right? So the thing is it was all about their competition is they made it a competition to consume their product. So now you're actually having people consume your product to play the game. Whoever thought of that marketing strategy, hey? All right? So it's like take photos of the sauciest wing in the bucket. Eat 5 of the hottest wings with no milk, no water, no napkin in less than 3 minutes. That's 2 strategies. Their customers generated 20,000 of them in less than 9 weeks. 20,000 unique challenges, and all you got was an online badge and maybe some more free wings and $5 off for Pepsi and Coke products, right? Not bad, because they're doing that form of marketing anyway. 184,000 unique players in 9 weeks or less. 1 in 3 players return to play again. On average, they didn't go there to consume wings. They went there to play 7 challenges on average. So if you're on a diet, this was not the time to go to this restaurant. Because you're like, I'm eating 20 wings and I only wanted 3, right? So how can you make your product consumption more engaging, more fun? Because if your buddy at the bar just ate 7 wings, you're like, well, I'm going to one-up you, mate, right? So they had also 100 million social media impressions. That works out to about 90 seconds per challenge. 3.6 years worth of brand engagement in 9 weeks. What would happen to your business if that happened? So the next part of this is why. I've mentioned personalities before. Game design really understands personality, and we've got this stuff sorted. We've cracked the code on personalities. There's 4 main personality types. We've actually built this personality profiling and assessment of every major personality type of assessment out there available, right? So we've connected it to 4 types of personalities. The achievers, these are the people who are all about status, recognition. They want to achieve results. They want to dominate over the world. They want to be driving the Ferrari. They want to be your number one salespeople, right? They're the ones that want to win. The hunters are the people that want to dominate over others, animals or people. The others is the socializers. These are the people who love relationships. In MLM or network marketing, it's all about the opportunity, right? It's about the freedom. But in your product, are you talking about the community, the connections, the friendships, the relationships you're going to generate in this business? The next part is the explorers. These are the people who, when they say they want to think about it, they seriously mean they want to think about it. They also are the people that want the facts, the blueprints. They want to see you've got blueprints and mind maps and processes and all this stuff laid out. Are you communicating to all 4 types of personalities in your projects and in your marketing? Yes? No? Now going, oh crap, right? So if you do this, you'll increase your sales 300% just by this alone. I'm talking about just tweaking the words. We actually took the personality types and created the types of scripts you can use for each personality type. So now when you use Infusionsoft or any one of those follow-up systems, you can start tagging people so they get this email sequence because you've optimized it to their personality. You engage them, you speak their language, they buy, right? So you might be thinking, well, what does a 300% sale increase look like? If your current income is $100,000, we increase it by 3, that's $300,000 of extra income each year, all right? If you're only going to be in business for the next 5 years because you're actually starting to make a little bit more cash, that's $1.5 million of extra income because you start communicating to each personality type. Anybody want $1.5 million over the next 5 years of gravy money that was just sitting there? Just because you tweaked your communication. That's what's possible when you leverage personality-based selling. And this is what gamification does well. It understands the personality types. This is why we made this powerful. And this is what makes this so engaging and fun. You can connect with more people. You can connect faster. You can decrease buying resistance. Who here has a long sales cycle? Anybody? Like 30 days, 60 days? How would you like to decrease that? You can significantly. We sell $100,000 plus packages in less than 5 days. Because I put it in a way and I communicate on multiple layers of personality and we sell it. Because they're like, I want to win. By buying your product is the first step to me winning. So my product and my price is nothing in relation to their win and the win they're going to get. It's no longer a financial decision. It's, I'm going to be a loser if I don't buy. Who wants to be a loser? I didn't think so. So you need to be aware of the language you're using and providing instruction for each type of personality. And we can help you script with all of that. And what you start doing is you start satisfying the intrinsic human desires for people. Does that sound interesting? Are you guys starting to get an idea of how you can start doing this? Yes? So if you use my piece of paper, there's a personality assessment on there. So you can actually assess your personality really quickly. And one of the things we were going to be doing is giving you guys badges, color-coded badges. So you could see the color code of the other people in the room, use the script that we gave you to close them. So who's kind of struggled a little bit to do some JVs, right? Just a little bit maybe. It's usually a personality difference, right? So when you go, oh, you're red, I know how to use the words to trigger you now. We were doing that. Pity you didn't complete that questionnaire earlier this week, right? So that's the power of it. So why should you be using gamification? You increase your profits. We want to make more money, yes? That's why you use gamification. You can create higher brand loyalty. You put a fence around your people so your customers understand the emotion, the relationship, and like, I don't want to go anywhere else. No one's going to be stealing your customers. You increase the frequency of purchase because by default, we start equipping them to buy more. Yes? We just don't think of a $97, $197, $497, $1,000, $5,000. We put multiple of these things in there. How are you providing software, tools? How are you facilitating multiple $500 purchases? You haven't even thought about that. People are like, damn, that's actually a good idea, right? This is why you implement gamification. So this is what the game or die formula is. I'm going to be around for the next few hours, and I'm quite willing to sit down with people to actually run them through the card deck and show them how much more money they can be making if they implement gamification. And that's what we're doing here this weekend. We're edutaining you guys about gamification and the game or die formula and why you need to be using this in your business for a competitive advantage. Who here wants a competitive advantage? Yes? Who here wants to give me their credit card so we can go and make some more money? Good, the same amount of people. Let's go. So that's game or die. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be taking questions outside, and I'm going to be sitting down with you guys to actually show you the power of this, work through your business, and you're going to be able to help make this a very powerful event for you because you're going to be able to connect with other people. And if you just take away some of the points I put in my my document I gave you, you're going to know how you can gamify your business. I can give you an engagement formula from the card deck. So you're actually going to have a few marketing strategies to walk away with. Is that okay? Yes. I give you some marketing strategies you can go home and slap your marketing people with? Yeah? Good. So outside, let's go.